Welcome back, guys, to Chasing Neat. I am Dawn.
And I am Michael.
Also known as...
The husband.
Mr. Wonderful.
Oh, yes, that too.
Yeah, anyway. Okay, you guys, we just bought... I don't know, we're always buying something, so...
Yeah.
But
we didn't just buy. Previously, we have purchased.
Actually, this one isn't very old.
No, it's a relatively new purchase.
Yeah. Recently, we went to Handy Spot Liquors in Gary, Indiana. Mike's working on the video right now, and hopefully by the time this video gets released, we can actually have down in the comments or whatever.
It's right off the highway.
Yeah, that's right. Interstate 94 in Indiana. Hop, skip, and a jump from Chicago.
Like 3 minutes off. Chicago. You're there.
Yeah. So the bottle that we one of the bottles we purchased was a Penelope, the new estate collection. Mm-hmm. We already like Penelope.
Or Penelope.
Penelope, as Rex from Whiskey Tribe would say. He would be wrong, but he's trying to be funny all the time.
Yeah.
But anyway, Penelope.
It's just fun to say.
Penelope, owned by, just recently purchased by MGP, I think maybe last year.
Luxro.
Luxco. Which is Luxro brand? Luxro brand.
Ross and Squibb.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. Actually, I don't know what label they are under.
Well, I'm sure the official company, individual FEIN, is Penelope, blah, 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 company. Anyway, we are big fans of Penelope, and I keep wanting to say Penelope because we try to be funny and butcher it, but it's not, it is Penelope. Penelope, I believe, is named after one of the co-owners' daughters, who happens to be named Penelope.
I thought it was a cartoon, Perils of Penelope.
Don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, I really tried not to get sucked into, these series again, like when we got sucked into the Maker's Mark series of wood finished
the BPOG,
bottles, BEP,
whatever.
FAE01, BRT01, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, this is going to be an annual release for them, and this particular bottle, the Estate Collection, is their 9-year.
Oh, yeah.
It's a 4-grain, but it's going to be their 9-year.
It's 4 grain, but the fourth grain is only 1%. So it's really...
3 grain.
Yeah. It's just in there a smidgen.
Yeah.
It's like a pinch of salt.
Penelope started out with the 4 grain. I mean, that's their core products. It's the 4 grains. Yeah. I'm not a huge fan of the core products per se. I don't dislike them, but I like their copper series, which is a little bit like the more sweeter, which is kind of funny for me to like sweet. Penelope Valencia, the Penelope Rio.
Oh, that Rio was so good.
Yeah, and the Rosé cask.
Yep.
Bottle topper sucked, even though it was pretty.
Oh, that glass.
It was glass top.
It had a glass and it just didn't fit.
Yeah. Well, this is the next iteration of Penelope, and it's going to be an annual release. Like I said, this one is their estate collection. Some people are equating it to like the BTAC of Buffalo Trace. Yes. We'll see. It didn't have BTAC price.
No, not yet.
Yeah. So we just opened this up, cracked it on Friday, and we thought we'd just, why it's still fresh on our mind, let's go ahead and review it.
2 days ago.
2 days ago.
Yeah.
So let's just...
So what do you get on the nose?
That's sweet.
I'm getting a sweet leather.
Yeah?
Not a dusty leather, not a old leather, but a sweet new leather.
Yeah,
Corinthian leather.
Yeah, like you used that already just recently, but it is very nice.
And a little hint of an orange.
It's citrusy, yeah. I was going to say it's very citrusy and sweet. Why does it reminds me of, I'm not going to say a specific brand. It reminds me of a distillery that has been doing this for years, you know what I mean? And they have their act together on this. So if it's an MGP product, they've been doing this a very long time. So anyway, it smells very sweet.
That's got a good nose on it.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I had to reset my palate.
Oh, of course you did.
Or not palate, but
with your stinky elbow.
My nose, yeah. I didn't lick it.
I think maybe we should just bring some coffee beans down there because this seems a little vulgar.
Nancy Fraley does it all the time.
Well,
so does Jackie Zykamp.
Well, those ladies have a reputation. Our reputation is kind of redneck.
I wouldn't say redneck. I would say building.
Building?
Yeah. We're an apprentice.
Apprentice? All right. Well, so, all right. What else? What other nose are you getting in here? It smells delicious. It doesn't smell high proof. But what's the proof on this guy? It's pretty high.
I'm getting a tad bit of cardamom.
Cardamom? This is 101.2, so not overly high, but so nice.
Yeah, it's definitely got a pleasant nose.
Yeah, I guess a teeny tiny bit of grape.
Yeah. Almost like a currant.
Mm-hmm. See, we don't...
And a barrel gets its wings.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, going in.
That's good. So it has some, for 101.2 proof, it has initial heat, upper roof, and immediately in your throat. Kentucky Hug immediately. It's now gone. Wow, that's good.
That's good. It hits nice. That proof stays with you, but not overpowering. You swallow, you still feel and taste it. Mm-hmm. Again, not overpowering, not that Kentucky Hug, but a Kentucky
warmth. Why are you doing that to me?
Well, instead of a Kentucky Hug, I was
kind of like a Kentucky
some
cat.
people,
a Kentucky Touch.
Yeah.
We created our own. We just created our own.
Dawn and I are huggers.
We're huggers.
I'm also a kisser, but some people are.
No, you're not.
I'm not?
You're not. You're supposed to be a kisser.
Oh, I'm not a kisser. I'm just a hugger.
You're not European.
No. I kiss on both cheeks.
Whatever.
But I keep my tongue in my mouth when I kiss.
Yeah. Back to Penelope.
It's the German in me.
Okay.
I click my heels and,
Trying to get home from Kansas?
Which is kind of scary because that's kind of what the Russians do too. But the czars were German.
Is there a bourbon czar?
Us. We can be the bourbon czar.
Who would you say if you had to, like Trump's new cabinet would be a bourbon czar? Who would that be? Fred Minnick? Who would that be?
As far as politics kind of goes, I would put probably Fred in there. Mm-hmm. If I wanted somebody to really drive, I'd put maybe Alan Bishop or
don't worry about it.
Or one of the noses. I was probably Zycam. Jackie.
Zycam.
As
opposed to Zycam, the liquid medicine. The medicine. Zycam versus Zycam.
Oh, yeah, there's that.
Yeah.
But who would you put in as the bourbon czar? Someone who could oversee...
Who could get rid of that 3-tier system, so the price doesn't keep getting jacked up, blah, 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 blah. I don't know. Anyway, back to Penelope. That smells...
Maybe... Kenny?
Or Ryan?
I wouldn't put Ryan in.
Ryan, blenders, all blenders unite?
Yeah, I wouldn't put Ryan in. Kenny might. And I only say that because I love you both. I think Kenny's just more of the administrative type person because he's the spreadsheet guy. So, attention to paperwork and detail of the spreadsheets
like
and dotting all the I's.
Right brain versus the left brain thing.
Yep.
All right, this one is... The more I drink this, the more delicious I think it is. It is so smooth, right amount of heat on a winter day, whatever.
It's got a nice oily
nice brown sugary. Yeah,
the finish is a little short for me, but
I'm okay with that.
And I say short, not that it just falls off. It just kind of goes down quickly, but it's long, but it's not there for a long time. It's just there.
That's really good. So, for those who are interested in understanding, I think the MSRP is $80, although I think we paid around $100 for this one ourselves. The Private Select blended mash bill, 74% corn, 20% rye, 1% wheat, and 5% barley malt.
So they just barely made their 4 grains.
Yeah. And I think I'm finding out that I thought I really liked the weedy stuff. But I'm finding out I don't really anyway. So I'm not overly into, I'm not really overly into a sweet corn type finish. That one's really good.
Dawn's also, if you haven't been following us, Dawn likes dry wines. I like sweet wines. So that's kind of our profile to start with.
Yeah.
We both like high proof bourbons. I tend to like the sweeter side of things. She tends to like the, I want to say harsher, but more
a little heat, a little more heat kind of thing. Like I'm definitely, I like the Bookers and that kind of high proof. But those are kind of hard to drink multiples of. I could see sipping on maybe a couple drams of this, for sure. This is pretty nice. But what I'm confused about, and now I did research before we looked at this, is I thought I saw a 9-year, 11-year, and a 13-year on the estate collection. But I might be thinking it's the estate collection private select versus estate collection single barrel.
Yeah. Tell us in the comments what you found. But I do know that they have different. This was the first one I've seen, but then I found out that they have previous ones. So
yeah.
But kudos to them for coming out with, for MGP, Ross and Squibb, Luxco. Kudos to them for saying, hey, we can make premium spirits and we can compete with BTAC.
Yeah.
Or at least we're going to try to compete with BTAC. And get that following. And I mean, they've got the stocks. They just have to select those stocks and put off to the side those stocks. Well, I think once they start doing that and building, so I think this is going to be their name brand to follow.
Their premium brand, you think? We'll see.
Or at least the estate side of that. So we'll see. They've got to meander and go through the waters, the rapids, and figure out exactly where they want to go with what and do it. But there's no doubt that they can do it. They've got the stocks. Yeah, well,
they've got the MGP army behind them, right? Yeah. I mean, I know that there's a bad press on MGP recently, and the whole...
What was that?
Oh, yeah, the whole story behind possibly manipulating a little bit of the stock price or whatnot. You have to double check that.
Oh, well,
anyway, that's all that crap, right? Or they're starting misleading stockholders, right? Versus they're starting to slow down the contract distilling. I think we heard about that last year. I don't know if they mislead it.
I think they just said this is what we think it's going to be, and I think that bourbon bubble is really starting to shrink, not necessarily burst yet, but I think it's starting to shrink faster than anyone really anticipated.
Yeah.
And I think because MGP / Ross and Squibb have such a breadth of touching of their, I mean, what they don't produce themselves, I shouldn't say, what they don't market themselves, everyone else is marketing, and so.
Well, and is it really? I feel like when I read the article,
it's just a numbers game.
When I'm reading the article, not reading the article, but just the whole general sense of, MGP, they're not contract distilling as much. Or last year they said they were going to pull back anyway. They told us they were going to pull back on the contract distilling. You've got Bardstown and you've got Green River. Well, Green River and Bardstown are now together now. Contract distilling. You've got these guys who are still contract distilling. So at some point in time, do they still need to continue doing contract distilling? You know what? You've got the Luxro brand. You've got Penelope. And you've got, you still have Smoke
Wagon. Well, how thin
can
the big players get themselves before the market itself becomes too thin? We like what a lot of the blenders are doing. So I don't care if 20 blenders are buying the same kind of stocks from MGP, as long as they're doing something significantly different with their blending.
Yeah.
If they're just putting it in a Missouri,
Amarana,
Missouri cask or
Mazerno, is that what you're talking about? Mazerna? Oh shoot, I don't remember. Anyway,
if they're just doing that and aging in they're not adding enough differentiation to the product and to the product line and to the entire category. So, as much as I like the Amberana finish because I like that profile.
Not everybody's a fan of that. But
If 10 different companies, small craft distilleries, are just buying their juice, putting it in their barrel, aging it for 9 months, and then bottling it, I'm not getting enough distinction say I'm going to always buy theirs, because I'm going to buy theirs and theirs and theirs and theirs and theirs, and they're just muddling that down. So those 9 people doing that exact same thing, I'm not going to buy all 9. We will buy all 9.
What?
But as a normal consumer, someone's going to buy just one and go with it, and then, or they're going to take our recommendation of the 9, this is the better one, and go with that. So I think that's where the entire market is going to consolidate down to smaller ones. Winners and losers may not be the best winner. They just be the one that people are buying, and the other ones are going to go out of town or out of business. So,
well, again, going back to the whole MGP owning Penelope now. Penelope has Penelope has a great marketing strategy as well as Smoke Wagon. It's like what you put in there. But I think just as a sidebar, and we'll get back to Penelope, is it's not that MGP supplies X, Y, and Z new distillery brand, blender, finisher, whatever you want to call it. It's the price point that comes out. Like we know when you buy somebody else's product and then you finish or do something extra for it, you're already paying the price point of the source product.
Right.
But when you release a product $100 plus, that's when the lay people are going like, no, I don't think so. For $100 I can buy something else, blah 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 blah. But this being an MSRP of $80, I think
the price point at this point
for this estate collection, I didn't realize it was $80, but I was happy to pay $100 for this. Now, I didn't know that I was going to love it at $100, but what I think is interesting about MGP, when they actually release these different series with the different brands that they own, if they can keep the price down because they're just supplying their subsidiaries, great. Yeah, I love it. I don't know why we got went way down on that tangent, but anyway.
Well, because our background is business. So that's kind of where our mindset is. We also have a manufacturing background, so we love to dive into that side of the asset. That's one of the reasons why we like to go on distillery tours, because we like the manufacturing side, the production side of things. How do you actually produce it?
Yeah.
Everyone makes it about the same way, but they all make it differently. The same way with metal manufacturers. Sure. They all make metal cogs and widgets the same, but it's all different. It's fun for us. Mm-hmm. That's our background. So the whiskey is kind of the same way, but we also root for the little guy.
Yeah, I'm interested to try other versions of the single barrel. We like single barrels, so I guess bringing it back full circle to
single barrel.
No, it's not single. So it's not single barrel. Now that you say that, it actually, from the research I did, does have a little bit of other product in there. It's blended. They're not saying what it is. So
other non-MGP, there's Kentucky.
Yeah, Kentucky, but we don't know really what it is. But it's smooth. It's very smooth and very lovable.
Yeah, there's no real high peaks. There's no real hard punches. Mm-hmm. The more I sip on this, the more I am really, really liking that finish.
Yeah.
Again, this is one of those you sip on for an hour during a conversation with friends.
Yeah, it's good.
Around the camp. Well, not so much campfire. No. I'd say this is an indoor one.
No, we don't say sitting around the campfire because, quite honestly, when we used to, during the whole COVID year, we spent a lot of time outside sipping whiskey with our friends, and we liked it. But being outside in the elements is a different.
Oh, that brings a different note to the.
Yeah, a different
everything.
Level of. Something.
Well, the
especially in the summertime.
The outdoor aromas affect everything that you taste and smell in a bourbon. Yeah. So we found that out early on. It's like when we try the same thing inside and outside. Yeah. Whether it's a campfire or not, if it's just sitting around the outdoor patio furniture stuff, it's.
So going back to this, it says this is a blend. 9-year whiskey, bourbon whiskey.
Yes, bourbon whiskey.
So it's getting close to our 10-year mark where we really seem to like a lot of the 10 years. Yeah. That's kind of our...
10 years definitely my sweet spot, yeah.
Yeah, Russell's a bullet 10, you know, all those things. We just like those 10-year marks. But let us know in the comments, you guys,
McKenna,
what you've tried, what in that, if you've tried this one and if you like it, and, you know, maybe do a little education on, like, what's the 11 and the 13? Is that the single barrel Penelope Estate Collection? I'm not sure.
Yeah, let us know.
We're just dabbling in on it, but... thanks for sticking around while we just kind of ran off topic, but it's just kind of fun to talk about MGP. MGP, you love them or you hate them. And you know what? We're in the camp of I love them.
We're biased because they're in Indiana, and so are we.
Yeah, anyway.
See
you guys next time. Thanks for watching.
Cheers! Good job.
You might have to cut some of that out. We rambled.
We?
You did this time. It was more you. Yeah.